Hey everybody, so we're going to just do a quick video on how to get the Google Play game services into your Unity project and logging in, showing leaderboards, adding stuff to leaderboards, viewing the achievements and unlocking an achievement. So what you need already is an APK or an app you're ready to upload. If you haven't done this before with Android, here's what we have here just for testing purposes. But what you need to do to upload it to the Android store is you need to go to your build settings, your player settings, and then you need to head down here and change the bundle identifier. So my website is ie.shaneobrien. And then the game name, so we're just going to call this test app GPG. And then one thing, if you're going to be doing lots of different versions of your app on Android, is to set this to 0.1 for now, because when you're uploading it to Google, they require that you have a higher number every time. So just set that now and set it again, change it every time you build the game, basically. So you also need to make key stores. So you just click create key store, you browse, and then you type in, we'll just call this test app key store. And then you need to generate a password for it. Just use a random password. And then you need to generate a key. So you need to create a new key and type in, so we'll type in test app. Then just leave everything as default, enter your name, so Shane, and then where you're from, and then create key. Then you need to click here again, click test app, and then enter the password that you entered into its field, and you're ready to go. So now you plug in your Android phone, or even just build it out without doing this. I like to just hit build and run, and we make a quick build. Call it test app. We need to do this basically because when you're trying to get access to the game services on the Google Play store itself, you need to have an application with those keys. Otherwise, you can't really go much further. You have to do this anyway. So now that we know it's made the thingy there and it's pushing out to the phone, we go to our Google Play developer console and we add a new application. So we'll just type in test app and we'll upload an APK. We're going to do alpha testing, so we'll upload our first. Browse, and then we need to find where the project was. So mine's in here somewhere. Where is it? So my document. There it is there, install, builds, and there's our Android application. So we double click that, it'll upload pretty quickly. Once it's uploaded, it'll check that version number, make sure it's different. It'll check that you have proper keys. And there we go. So here on the Google developer console, it'll tell you how many devices are supported. If you know for a fact it's not going to work on a certain device, you can just disable it. It can be handy if you are selling apps and you think people are going to be demanding refunds, so on. So we need to enter some quick stuff into the store description. Type in game. We don't need to do pricing just yet, but we'll just set it for free for now. And the important part here is you need to click on services and APIs. And then down here we have Google Play game services. We click that. We add a new game. Again, we call it test app. We pick a category for it. We'll just put arcade in action. And now here it's going to, we have to link it to our app up here in all applications. So we need to link an Android app. We need to give it the name, which it already has there. We need to find the app, so we go test app. There it is. Not going to go into multiplayer or anything here, mostly because I don't know how to do it with the Google Play stuff. Anti-piracy, you'll have to download the Google license add-on in the Unity Asset Store. But your game's going to be pirated anyway if it is up there, even for free, so why bother? So now we need to authorize the app here. Click this. And then it's going to ask you for your product name. Confirm it's your Google account. Product logo, which you don't need to do the product logo or the home page URL just yet. So click continue. You can see it's an installed application. It's on Android. Here's the package name that we're using. Make sure this is the exact same as in your player settings that you set there. And then here's basically the key that you made in Unity here. So if any of these change and you go to upload your game, it'll say, sorry, this is different, or the important one, this is different. This has to match exactly every time. Otherwise, you have to start a new, basically a new APK, new app up here, everything. So keep that in mind. Keep your keys safe, like on Dropbox or somewhere only you can have access to, but also backs up. So we click Create Client. And there we are. So we're pretty much done here, but we need to add an achievement for testing. So we add an achievement. We'll just call this, you press the button. And description of it is, well done. Let me save. So you can do all sorts of cool stuff, like you have to have an image for it to be considered a finished achievement. You can do incremental achievements, like, don't know if you remember, if you played Half-Life 2, there's certain items you can pick up, so there's 36 or 37 boxes you can pick up through the game, and you can basically put in, so, well, they need to pick up 37 boxes. Every time they pick up one box, basically pop up the achievement saying, congratulations, you were 1 to 37 of the way to getting this achievement, or whatever. But we won't need that here. And then you can do hidden achievements and the points of the achievement, all of which we're just going to leave at default for now. So we save. Now you'll see you generated, that's your achievement name, the ID, which is what we're going to use when we're calling to unlock the achievement. We're also going to add a leaderboard here. So add leaderboard, we'll just call this high score. And you can do, again, kind of cool stuff here. So most leaderboards for points are just integers. So, and you can do decimal places. If you have like really if you have floats as your score, but we're not really going to need that. So you can do integer time. So if someone has the best time on a lap, you can do currency. So not entirely sure why I use that, to be honest. But we're going to stick with integer. And again, a leaderboard has to have an icon. Actually, no, it doesn't, but it'd look better if it did. And then you can do it so larger is better is, say, if I get 500 points and it goes in the leaderboard, if I get 600 points the next time, my 500 will be replaced by the 600 because I got a higher score. Stuff like smaller is better would be used for lap times. So say you took a minute and a half to go around a lap and you want to update this, say next time you do a minute and you want it to update, a minute is smaller than a minute and a half, so that's basically the better lap time. So just kind of be careful about which one of these you're using. You can also do limits, so if you don't want people to go below, like if you think there might be a bug or you don't want people to just go over a certain score for whatever reason, you just set them here and then save. There you go. And again, name and the ID we will use to call on this leaderboard. So okay, so we're almost done here with the Google Play Developer Console. We're going to need to come back to it now in a sec and grab this number. But what you need to do now is you need to go to the Unity GPG plugin page on GitHub, which there's a link to in the description of this video. And the file you want is this one here, gpg package. So you click that one, and then you click raw just to grab the download. You click save, open the save once it's done. It'll import into Unity. Import everything. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to make sure it's working. It comes with its own scene that we can sign in and view the leaderboards and all that stuff with. We're going to go a bit further, and after that we're going to just code in some functionality into these buttons. So you can see how you can add your score to your leaderboard when your game ends, not just in his GUI. So I'll show you what function to call there, and the same for achievements. So just to basically test that it's working, we're going to open the build settings, and we're going to add in the GPG scene there. And I've already made a button there that will basically let us load into it. As a preview of what it looks like, that's it there. Click in. You'd usually click sign in, and it's giving you an error in the Unity editor because we're not running on Android and we don't have all the Java stuff with us basically. So once that scene is added there, you need to go into this nerd GPG script, and that number that I was telling you about on your Google Play developer account, this one here, I'll show. So you have to be in game services to get to it. If you're in all applications, you'll get just your application package name, which is not what we're looking for. You need to be in game services, your app, and then this number here beside your app. That's your app ID for Google Play services. Go into your code, add that in here, save it, head into Unity. Try again. Yeah, it worked. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So then once you're back in Unity, click Nerdiacs, and you click this update GPG files. So click update. Now once that's done, is basically there's the source for an actual Android project in here that you'd open with Eclipse, and that's just edited all those files for you, of which there's a ton of, so you don't have to go mucking about in that stuff if you don't know what you're doing there. And it'll also do iOS stuff for you if that's what you're using. So now once that's updated, we can load this onto our phone and actually check to see if it works or not. So we'll do that now. So we're going to build it out to the phone. So here's the app running on the phone. The buttons are small because I never accounted for the resolution of my phone when I was writing the code. So the button we're going to test here is test GPG, which is the little button at the bottom. That'll load up the little scene that they provided with the Unity plugin, just so we can test sign in. So if we click sign in here, it should load up the Google Play sign in sheet saying your app would like to use your Google Plus stuff for doing whatever. Leaderboards and achievements and friend lists and all that stuff. So we click sign in, and it should bring us back to the other page. And once the page comes back, it'll realize we've logged in. We now have access to all this stuff. It'll say welcome, all that. So we can now show the leaderboard that we've put up in the Google Play Store. There's our high score. We can click that, see no one has earned it yet. We can go back to the app, and then we can click show the achievements, and we have one achievement there, but no one's unlocked it yet. So we go back, and then that's basically the Google service is working. It took me a lot longer than that to do it last night, I'll tell you that. But so now we're going to show how to get it working, say in a game scene where you can post whatever scores you want. And unlock achievements based on your events and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so now we're going to add the same functionality as the GPG screen to our actual script, and we're going to break it up and just kind of show you how to use it the way you want to use it instead of the way he's shown it to you, so you can use it in your own game. So first off, we're gonna, in the main menu here, we have GUI stuff on the camera. That's just the buttons. What we want to do is we want to go into GPG and we want to drag the nerd GPG script onto the camera as well. We're doing that because when we click sign in on the menu, it'll instantiate the singleton that will run through the next scene and the scene after that while you play your game to constantly be connected and so on. Next, we're going to open up the GPG GUI stuff. We're going to basically crib a lot of the code from here because we're using the same calls, so we might as well use this as it has them written out for us already. I know people are probably going mad that I copy and paste code, but we're just going to do it quick and dirty. So here's our GUI stuff script. We basically want to copy in the same libraries to use. So we're using system.runtime.interop services and Unity Engine.social platforms. And we save that. And then the next important thing to do here is the social.active. Without this, nothing works. So you have to have that run. So we'll put in public void start. We'll just throw that in there. Next, we have our sign in button. So we will go down to where they sign in here. So you'll see if button sign in, do all this stuff. So we're going to say social.localuser.authenticate. We're going to pop that in there, and then you'll see it takes a variable of on auth cb. That's down here. It's a function that is there for the most part to return the result of whether or not you've got a login response. So you have to have that function wherever you call social.local.user or .authenticate. So we'll just throw that in under the other stuff. It's mainly just for debugging whether or not it's working. You won't actually see it on your Android app. And then next thing I'll show you this is we have our, where is it? So there's an if statement here saying if social.localuser.authenticated. So that basically is asking, is the user authenticated? If he is, show all these buttons. So we'll use the same kind of logic on ours because without, like, what's the point in showing leaderboards and achievements if when you click them they do nothing? So, and we'll encompass the sign out button in there too because there's no point in clicking sign out unless you've signed in. It's just going to be an extra button that doesn't do anything. So if the user is authenticated, show all these buttons, and you can even go one step further and say if they're not authenticated, show the sign in button. So you have a nice clean menu. Let me just put an else there. So the next button we'll do is sign out, just in case for whatever reason they want to sign out. So we will say, copy that line there, near gpg.instance sign out. And that'll just log the user out. The next important button here we have to show our leaderboards. So this is in our menu again because we don't want to use this whole big script for the most part anyway. Is we just copy the social leaderboard UI line, we paste that in there, and then we want to also show achievements. So we get that there. So that'll just pop up the menu that has the list of our leaderboard and the list of our achievements and stuff like that. So kind of here's the part where, say if you're playing it, if you make a Tetris game and at the end of when the person loses all their lives, it says, here's your score, here's the time you took and here's what level you got to. And you want to post the score onto the leaderboard. So if you'll see on the GPG GUI script, we go down to where it says, where is the achievement one or the leaderboard here? So report score. So social.report score number, the leaderboard ID, which is what we saw here So on your leaderboard for high score, say you have an ID, and that's unique to your leaderboard and that particular one in general. So what we do is we'll copy this line into the post your score on the leaderboard. And then, so we can't use that verbatim. So we need to add in, we have an integer here for score, and the score we're going to save is 100. So when your Tetris game is game over and it calls the function it calls when it's game over, and you put this in, you say your score that you had, and then so we need a string to identify the leaderboard. So we say private string high score leaderboard ID equals, and then we go to Google Play, click our leaderboard, there's the ID, select, copy, paste. So, and then we copy that string there and replace test leaderboard. And then again, it's asking for a function to call on so we know if it's posted or not. So we have on submit score, we copy this and put it at the end again. Again, it's for debug purposes only, which is nice to have when you are actually trying to figure out what's wrong. So now if we go and kind of look at this line, so we're saying if we press the button, or you could have if game over, or if you've reached the checkpoint, or for any reason, like any reason here, if you do something, report the score, what the score is. That could be a time, that could be a currency, that could be like if you have an endless runner, that could be the distance, and then the leaderboard could be for any of those. So we have a high score leaderboard, which is high scores. That's its ID. We need to post in the ID here. You can just paste in the string from here in there if you wanted, but it's better to have it declared just because it's more readable. So we say string high score leaderboard ID. There you go. And then on submit score. So if you were also submitting a time, you would have to basically say, time. You'd go into Google Play, you'd make a new leaderboard, call it time, copy its ID, add a new string saying time score leaderboard ID, paste that ID in there, and then that's the variable you'd assign it to there. So you can post on multiple leaderboards at any time, any different variables. Now, unlock achievement is a bit weird because it seems that if you just post the achievement, it doesn't do anything. So it seems like you have to load the achievements. So in the GPG GUI script, they do it in a separate, they do it as its own button to just load the achievements and then load the achievement descriptions. But what I'm going to do is, so we're going to load the achievements. So when you sign in, you can say, so on authenticate. So instead of debugging, we can load the list of achievements then. So only when it's authenticated will it load the achievements. And then we need to load the achievement descriptions as well. So again, on authenticate, we load the achievements, we load the achievement descriptions. We need another, again, mostly debug purposes, but can be used like for when it's something works, when something logs in, then do this stuff here. When you load the achievements, then do something. When you load, or when you submit a score, then you can have a string saying score submitted, well done, and so on. So when we sign in, we load what achievements are available, we load what descriptions are there for those achievements, and then we want to activate the achievement here. So we'll go and we'll add another achievement because I've already unlocked this one. So test achieve to save. So we made a new achievement here. This is the ID we want. We need to have another string for the achievement we want to unlock. So you do this for every achievement. So private string test achieve to, equals endline paste. So then we'd say down here on unlock achievement, we will copy the report score, I believe. Is report score? Report progress. So social.report progress, test achievement 100, unlock AC. So again, social report progress, this is the achievement ID that you want to activate. So up here, we've got test achieve 2. Paste it in. This is kind of for the incremental achievements, but because we're just going straight from 0 to 1, that's 100%. So we have this achievement 100% done. You could have that on a time thing. So, you know, if once the time reaches 100 or any variable there. And again, it's looking for the function to call afterwards. So what one is it looking for? On unlock AC. So on unlock AC. And then again, they're all debugging at the moment, but it can be useful for stuff like when you're logging in. And there we go. So go into our scene now and just click play. And so when we click sign in, shouldn't work, but it should instantiate a nerd GPG singleton that will come with us through the rest of the game, at least until we sign out. And we'll run through the code now. So we say at first we get the active social script. Then we check if the user is not authenticated, show the sign in button. Else, if they are authenticated, show the leaderboard buttons, the achievement buttons, the post a score button, the unlock achievement button, and the sign out button. Again, if we're not signed in, there's no point in showing these because they're just not usable by the user. In your game, basically you'd have in your game over function or whenever you're calling that the game has ended, you should check if the user is authenticated. If they are, then post the scores. If not, don't do anything because you could potentially receive an error due to them not being authenticated. Then we say, so if we are logged in and we want to show the leaderboards, we'll just say social.show leaderboard UI. That pops up a separate window and it shows all the available leaderboards. And once you click into those leaderboards, if you've placed and where your friends are and stuff like that, the same goes for the achievements. So then we also have report score, and then the value we want to report, the ID of the leaderboard we want to report it to, and then the function we call afterwards. And then again, you could have multiple leaderboards. So at the end of a Tetris run or a Space Invaders, for example, you could have the score. So the main score you have when the game is over, you report that. You report how many lives you had left, which would probably be 0 actually. But you could probably put in how many invaders you've killed on the way as another one. So you could have 2 leaderboards, and then you could put how long you survived, which is the third one, which is time. So you have all these 3 leaderboards just coming from one game over. And then you have your achievements, which these are probably, so you could check the values whenever. If you put them in update, it might be a bit too much. But say at the end of the game, you could check again in game over. You could check if they killed 10 Space Invaders this time around, then unlock the achievement for killed 10 Space Invaders, or so on. And then the sign up button simply just signs you out. You're no longer authenticated. All this will go away. Sign in will show up. So on. And then actually, yeah, so when you sign in, you're telling it which function to run, which is on auth CB. So once you sign in, this function will be run. It'll debug log with the result, but then we're also loading in achievements and loading achievement descriptions, just because the achievement won't seem to pop unless it knows there's an achievement to pop, I guess. So I guess we're going to save this and build it out and see how it works. Okay, so we've built out our app now. Here it is. So you can see it just says sign in. You click that, take a second. New users will be greeted with this app wants to use your Google Plus stuff. So you can click on leaderboard and you'll get the leaderboard that's there. You can click on achievements and see the list of achievements. You can see that the second Test Chief 2 has now showed up there. We can go back and now, so we can put a score on the leaderboard. We just press that. It's up to you to code in something that says scores posted. For the purposes of this, it's just a very simple click a button and it's done. And then we can also unlock the achievement. So we click unlock the achievement and it says achievement unlocked, Test Chief 2. We can click on achievements there again. There it is. We've got 100% of the 2 crappy achievements that are in this. Go back, sign out, and everything should go away after a second. Assuming I hit it. There we go. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching. Bye.